Hello everybody. Hi.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry anything that you celebrate. And if you don't, hi. How are you? So the year is about to end, and so it's time. It's time for the wrap-ups. It's time for those videos. I don't know, like, I'm excited to share the books that I've read this year, and I still don't know how I'm gonna do that. I know for a fact that I want to sit and share everything that I've read, but I don't know how. I don't know. It's a lot. It's my Goodreads is proud of me. I am proud of my Goodreads. I'm proud of myself. Yeah. So I'm doing it in parts. I still want to sit down and talk about literally every book that I read this year, but I can't do that in depth because that would take 5 hours. And today I wanted to share some books that made me fucking sob. This year I discovered a lot about myself, alright? We've discovered that we like romance, we've discovered that we love sad books, we've discovered that we love mammoths. We've discovered a lot about ourselves, okay? We're growing, we're coming out, we're discovering, alright? We're learning. One genre or type of books that I absolutely did not think that I would love this much is sad shit. I'm a sad bitch and I love sad shit. I absolutely fell in love. I mean, we started this year with a banger. I started this year, the first book that I read this year was You've Reached Sam, and it fucking ruined me. And I was like, I'm in love. It's making me feel things. It's making me process my own personal emotions in a way that doesn't make me feel weird, because it's not actually me crying about my fucking life. It's me crying about a fictional character, but actually I'm crying about myself. Anyways, and after we did that, I was like, give me the sad shit. After that, I went looking for more sad books. And I mean, honestly, most of them were not on purpose. They just happened to be sad and I just happened to love them. So these are gonna be the books that absolutely railed me, absolutely made me sob this year. It broke me. And that is Exodus by Kate Stewart. Now, let's talk about this. I didn't like the series that much. It's a trilogy. It's the Ravenhood trilogy, compiled of Flock, Exodus, and then The Finish Line. I have some thoughts about that, alright? So, Flock, I was like, this is overhyped. What you been talking about? I don't see it. Like, this is fucking overhyped, because like everyone and their mama was recommending it, and I just didn't understand. And then I was like, the only good thing in this book while reading Flock, I was like, the only good thing in this book is Dom. And then this happened. We reached the end of part 1 of Exodus, and I couldn't see anymore. I bawled so hard that I was heaving and I couldn't breathe properly. I cried a lot. The way it happened, how undeserving it was, how it shouldn't have happened, just everything compiled at once. It was just too much for me. I couldn't. Going back to the beginning of the year, and again talking about You've Reached Sam, I just talked about this as like one of the best books that I've read this year, and it is, and it's gonna stay like that, and it, always, it made me like super interested in the author and everything, but this bitch made me fucking cry. It's not even like, oh, cool story, and then the last like 20 pages, like you're bawling your eyes out, and then the last 2 pages, like, oh, it's a happy ending, cool. Bruh, it starts off with us crying. It starts off and I'm fucking bawling. It starts off and I don't have a tear duct anymore. No, like, seriously, page 11. Not even the first chapter, it's the prologue. If I could stay with you, I'd never leave. But you did leave. I know, I'm sorry. You never said goodbye. That's because I never thought I had to. That's not even the first chapter. It's that sad that it's not even the first chapter. Well, I'm gonna tear up now, okay? That was so sad. Like, this book was so sad, and like reading it while grieving for someone, it was a lot. And I know that it's not just me, and it's not because I was grieving for someone. Next pick is a difficult book and a difficult topic of a book. Difficult book that has difficult topics. And that's No Longer Human by Osama Desai. I read this in the middle of the year, and I wouldn't have cried, really. It's fucking sad and disturbing and dark, and you know, it's a lot. Definitely a book that you need to check the trigger warnings for before you read it. But I cried because this is sort of an autobiography. It's an unofficial autobiography because the author ended up taking their own life after publishing the book. And when you read this after knowing that, it completely changes everything, because this deep, like, emotional trauma that's going on in the book with this author, like this deep fucking melancholy, this deep, like, feeling of being unwanted and being it's just that, and then you realize that, oh, this is real. Then, like, after learning that, I went back to the book and I immediately started tearing up. Like, it's so sad. Next up, we have a Booktok famous book, a Booktok hyped, a Booktok classic, a book that really dominated Booktok for a while, and that is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I love this. There's a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to this book. Some people love it, some people just not even get why anyone would even like it, and I of course understand that, like, to each their own and everything, but I loved it so much. I actually, like, read it in a vlog back when I, like, I don't know, 2 months starting this fucking channel, and I actually, like, cried, and I couldn't even hold my fucking tears, and I cried on, like, while filming, because it's a lot. And there's, like, this one scene. Listen, I can take a lot, all right? I can really, like, I can withstand a lot. I can take a lot of emotion. I'm cool with, I'm okay. Until we get into animal stuff, and this had a scene with, like, this cute fucking dog. Like, I reached that and I immediately fucking started crying and bawling my eyes out. Plus, for me personally, it honestly was relatable in so many cases. It's an easy story and an easy plot, but I personally thought it was done well. A lot of people didn't like the writing style and the formatting of the book, and it's something that I actually really liked and enjoyed, and thought it made the reading process interesting, and interesting in a very, very good way. The ending, the plot twist, it wasn't like that much of a plot twist. It's not like, it's definitely something that we've seen before in books and movies in a lot of, like, formats, but still, I thought, even though it was done before so many times, but I still thought it was cool, and it was done in a cool way, actually, and in a sly way, and I didn't expect it. Like, after I read it, like, after I got the plot twist, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see where this is going, I see where it's, yeah, okay, I get it. But I did not expect it. Like, reading this, I don't know, I'm stupid. I just didn't expect it. But I really, really enjoyed it, and I cried a lot, especially the fucking golden fucking read. It's just like getting into the plot twist and then knowing why everyone was behaving a certain way, why the parents were behaving a certain way, why someone would say something, would do something. It makes sense, and it's just, it gets sadder and sadder the more you realize why everything was being done, why everyone was acting a certain way. It just starts making sense, and, like, the more it made sense, the more, like, sadder it got. Next up is again a book that is in a lot of my list. The best books of 2022, it's there. The saddest books of 2022, it's there. The best written, it's there. The best, it's there. It's everywhere. And that's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm not gonna fucking bore you. Again, I've talked about this before. Everyone and their mama knows about the book, about the plot, about the characters, about everything. We all know this is fucking iconic. But it did fucking make me sob. There's a point where not a lot of people talk about, and I don't understand why, because it's fucking sad as fuck, and that is Harry. If you know, you know. There's a character named Harry, and ooh, we love her. She's amazing. He's amazing. They're amazing. But there is this scene. Boy, we got into that scene. We're in a hospital bed. Bawled 2 liters of fucking water. After this book, I got dehydrated. My tear ducts were drier than the fucking Sahara Desert. It was a lot. I see people cry over the main characters. I see people cry over the main story. I see about, like, people cry over the forbidden love, or, like, the love story that never got to happen, Celia and Evelyn. I see a lot of that, and that's valid, cool. But we don't see people cry over Harry, and I got you, my dude. I cried over Harry so fucking much. Harry was like the best character for me, okay? Like, Evelyn is an icon. Evelyn does a lot, but Evelyn is borderline fucking evil. Harry was like a fucking golden retriever. I loved Harry, and I cried a lot. Next up is a book that I loved, but this isn't like a book that made me sob or whatever, but there was one scene that made me just break down. It was one of those moments where you're like, that. It's Adi LaRue again. it's a circle. You're seeing the same books again and again, sorry. But I'm gonna talk like quickly about this. There's this scene with Henry. Henry Sprouse is like fucking perfect, and there's this scene where at the end, like, she had to, spoiler alert, she had to like go. You know, that scene where, you know, he, under the rain, where like he forgets everything, but then I thought I'd mention it because it did make me cry. More than a sub. I was lying. I cried a lot. The next choice is weird, okay? You will not see this book in the books that made people cry. You will not see this book in the sad book lists. You won't, except here, because we work in a different way. It's the Mindfuck series. Yeah, specifically the second to last book, which was All the Lies. There's like 5 books in it, right? And the last one and the next to last one, I think it was the next to last one, where like we got to know everything that happened to Lana. Lana is the main character. We got to know like everything that happened to her, and like actually what made her that way, and how she became who she is, how she became a serial killer, like what actually they did to her. And I sobbed. Her and Marcus, her brother, like what they did to them, I couldn't like hold my fucking tears. I was okay. I was like, I got to the point where I was just like, Lana, baby, you're like exaggerating a little bit, like let it go, it's fine. And then I got to that point and she told the story and I completely broke fucking down. It's a weird choice. It's definitely a weird choice. It's not like a sad book, a conventionally sad book, but it made me sob. It made me cry. The last book that made me cry this year is a book that also is not conventionally sad. It's actually a very happy book with a very happy ending. It's a romance, and that is Archer's Voice. I loved it. Okay, this book is special to me because it introduced me to romance. I didn't read romance before. I just read a lot of adult fiction, fantasy, and a lot of YA. And this is like the first mainly just romance contemporary book that I've read, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I don't know if it's the author or like if it's just, I don't know, like the novelty of romance to me, I just absolutely fell in love with it until we reached the last chapters. Something happened and like I hated the author for making me even think for 5 seconds that I'm gonna lose Archer, because that's what happened, and I bawled my eyes. I was like, this cannot happen. Not after all of this, not after this entire fucking story, not after making us fall in love with this fucking bitch, not after making me completely head over heels for someone that doesn't fucking exist. You're not gonna do this to me. And then like everything was okay and I was fine, but yeah, it was a lot. I've read more sad books this year and books that should make a bitch cry, but they just didn't. And I don't know like what makes me, I still haven't figured it out yet. Like sometimes stupid shit makes me cry, and sometimes a not sad book makes me cry. So that has been my list. Yeah. If you have more recs that would wreck me, definitely drop them in the comments, and thank you if you made it this far to the end of the video. That's super cool. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.